Hey you guys, welcome back to the Kill Culture Podcast. It is your host, Schuyler Elliot, and I am so excited that you guys are here for our first official episode. You guys, welcome back to the crib, to the place where we hanging, where we talking, where we chilling. Guys, this is our very first official episode. If you listen to the first episode, you're probably like, wait, Schuyler, didn't you already come out with the episode? That was a teaser episode. So that talks about everything that we are going to be discussing here on the Kill Culture Podcast. And we kind of get into the name and get into why we are doing, what we're about. We're a community, we're a family, and it kind of dives into that. So go and check it out. It is literally the teaser episode, which is technically, yes, our first episode, but this is our first official episode. So this will be season 1, episode 1, or season 1, episode 2. I really don't know. Does it really matter, guys? No, I don't think so. What really matters is that you guys are here, and that's it. But welcome. I hope you guys are having a great day or night whenever you're listening to this or watching this. Before we get into this episode, you guys are definitely going to want to follow the podcast page on Instagram, on TikTok, because all of the reels, all of our graphics, all of our shout outs, all of our community posts, like everything you need, the information hub is on Instagram and is on TikTok. So follow me on Instagram at the Kill Culture Podcast. And then you can also follow me on TikTok at the Kill Culture Podcast. And if you want to follow my main page where I post pretty much everything I'm always doing, you can follow me at Schuyler Elliot. And you can also follow me on TikTok at Schuyler Elliot, which is everything else I do in my life. But yeah, check us out, hit follow, join in on the community. And you guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, but you guys can DM me any questions that you may have. But we're also setting up an anonymous platform where you can submit all questions anonymously, because I know how awkward it can be sometimes asking questions. So you can also do that. But for now, you can also comment on the YouTube, you can DM me, and I will answer right here on the podcast. So please do not hesitate to do that. You guys, we are talking about something that I am so excited to talk about, and let me tell you why. I'm excited to talk to you guys about it because it is something I feel like we all struggle with. Like, I know I was about to say I used to struggle with that. Like, girl, no, you still struggle with it. Like, like, come on, do not even act like you don't struggle with it. And I wasn't even trying to act like I still don't, but sometimes, like, I actually conquered it in my life. Like, this was something I conquered, but then now, like, I thought it was good, but then recently, like a few weeks ago, it hit me again, and I'm like, dang, like, I gotta conquer this thing again because I still struggle with it, even though I thought I didn't anymore. So yeah, we all struggle with it. This episode is planting season, okay? And if you guys know anything about farming or gardening, because I'm a total farmer up in here, like, no, I'm not, but I know a thing about a flower or two. So you got your season where you are planting, you got your season where you're doing the work to prep for the seed, you plant the seed, you get ready, you prepare, then the process has to start. Sunshine, water. Come on, we remember this from elementary. So what's the third element? Why do I feel like I'm missing one? Sunshine, water. Is there a third one? Oh my gosh, why do I not remember this from school right now? Like, this is crazy. There's a third one. Sunshine, water. What the heck? I was about to Google it, but I don't have time to do that right now. Google it and let me know if I'm missing a step to the growing process, okay? Because I know it was sunshine and water, and I feel like there's something else. But if I'm crazy and I'm tripping, you can also tell me, girl, you are tripping. But anyways, I say all that to say, we are talking about planting season, waiting season, active waiting season, okay? We all hit a season in our lives where we are waiting for something. And it sucks. Because you are in a period of time where you know something good is coming, or you hope something good is coming, okay? And it's honestly the most frustrating, aggravating thing ever. Like, I do a video diary, right? And in my video diary, I was like actually 2 weeks ago crying on my bed. And I was like, let me get my camera and record this, because I try to record like the deep, intimate moments so that one day my kids can watch it. So they'll have a video to watch of me at the same age they are. So like when my daughter turns like 18, then she'll get all of my video diary videos from 18. I've been doing this since I was like 17, 18, right? So they'll be able to watch it, right? And it could be like, oh dang, like I feel the same way, mom, or I felt the same way. And they can see what I look like, what I was struggling with. And it's not just bad times, but it's good times, happy times, to talk about the happy things and the sad times. And I put it all out there on the video diary. But I say all that to say I was recording, and boom, I'm crying on the video, and I'm like, I just can't wait for this thing anymore, you know? So I was just on a struggle bus. I was hit, but it's okay, we recovered. So we are going to be talking about some of the active waiting season tools, planning season tools that you can use, you can implement right now to help you through your season of waiting, whether that's waiting for a job promotion, waiting for a relationship, waiting for your person, waiting to move, waiting to get a house, waiting to get an apartment, waiting to be done with school, waiting, just like anything you can think of that you're waiting for that is annoying the heck out of you. Maybe you're waiting for your breakup. Like, I don't know, like there could be a million different things you are waiting for in your life. And I count it all as aggravating. If you're anything like me, okay? And I feel like we're all like this to an extent, right? Where we like to try to control everything, like not control everything, because that sounds like, ooh, control freak. But I'm pretty sure everyone in their life likes to be able to control what they can control. Like, nobody wants tough times. Like, nobody wants bad things to happen, right? But they do. And I think those are moments where God is like, okay, you have to learn how to trust me. And I think having an issue of waiting is also goes hand in hand with having an issue of trust. Like, God is like, do you trust me? Do you have faith in me? And I think for me personally, I trusted God, but I wasn't trusting him in a way where I was able to walk blindly into whatever he had for me. Like, I just think I was trust falling. Like, I was falling backwards, but I was looking over my shoulder like, God, you got me? God, you got me? Like, God, you have me? And so I think during my life, it's just been a lifelong process of getting to the point where I can blindly trust fall without even looking back and knowing, all right, God, you've got me and you are for me, right? So we're going to be diving into some tools on how to help you through your waiting season and not waste your waiting season, because what a lot of times we don't realize, our waiting season is a gift, okay? Because you can prepare during that waiting season. You can get ready, you can train yourself, you can train your mind, you can get in better shape, you can work on your health, you can grow in your relationship with God. While you're waiting for this next thing to come, you can be actively doing things to accelerate the process and to get you ready for whatever thing you're waiting for. And maybe that's why you're in this waiting season, because you're not active. Like, God could be like, I'm actually waiting to give you this thing, but because you're not working and you're not putting in the work to get ready for it, you're just sitting and being like, I'll wait for you, Lord. I'm not giving it to you yet because you're not ready. So I think if you change your mindset of thinking, I'm just going to sit and wait for God, to, all right, I'm going to get ready for God and I'm going to get ready to move, that's where you'll start seeing so much change. It's all because you changed your mindset. The reason why we called this episode planting season, right, is because Ecclesiastes 11:4 says, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Okay, so let's break that down, because some of you guys are listening like, what the heck does that mean? I got you. Don't worry about it. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. So think about that very basically, right? So if you're in the farm and you're getting ready to plant, and you know you're supposed to plant these seeds so you can get your harvest, so you can get your food, so your family can eat. If you're out there and you know you're supposed to be working, but you're sitting and you're just watching the wind and just lollygagging around, la-di-da-di-da-di-da, like, I'm not really doing anything, I'm just gonna wait, those seeds are not gonna get planted. Like, God is God, but he ain't gonna plant those seeds for you. Know what I'm saying? If he called you to plant those seeds, he's calling you to plant those seeds. He's not saying, oh, it's just magically gonna appear in the ground. No, the Bible says faith without works is dead. God is calling you to have faith in those situations. The way I can look at it is, if he calls you to plant, he wants you to have faith that it's gonna grow if you plant it. But the thing is, though, is without works, faith is dead. So the work is planting it yourself and having faith that it will grow. and that God will provide, right? So that's the first part of this verse. But the second part is, whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. So same thing. You're out in your backyard, you're chilling, you're like, you know what? Today I'm not going to work for anything, and I'm just going to lay a blanket out in the backyard, and I'm just going to look at the clouds all day, which is great. Have a self-care day. Have a day where we're a scheduled day where you don't do anything, where you're like, okay, this is going to be my self-care day. This is going to be my day where I go for a long walk. I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to have an at-home spa day. I'm going to get my nails. Like, have a day where you don't do anything, right? Because I think that's very important. But if you're like every day just like meandering around and being like, okay, I'm not really going to commit to doing anything, I'm not really going to work, that is what this verse is saying. Basically, if you lounge around and do nothing, you're going to get nothing. But if you put in work, that's where God will bless that. Waiting season is a thing because setbacks are a thing. And setbacks are also a very huge part of the waiting season, because especially as you're working towards goals, even during your waiting season, setbacks can occur. And the thing is, we'll only see them as setbacks, but we don't really know if they're setbacks or not. And only God really knows that. And that's where that whole faith concept comes in, and trusting that, what is for you, he will give you. And he wants to give you his best. And I think that's something you also have to remember during your waiting season, is that God is for you. It can be very easy for the enemy to make you feel like God is not on your side. God is not for you. God is never going to give you this thing. He's never going to let you prosper. He's never going to take you to the next level. He's never going to give you his promises. That's not true. Like, you have to eliminate those thoughts and eliminate those lies that you are being fed, because that's when anxiety and stress and even resentment towards God can build up and can occur. One thing I always remind myself in my waiting season, that God is for me. God is for me. If I don't have it yet, it's because I'm not ready for it yet, and it's not in his timing right now. I just think during your waiting season, you have to constantly be talking to yourself more than you're listening to yourself, right? So if you're listening to yourself, that's when those negative thoughts come in. But constantly be talking, be like, no, I will prosper. I will succeed. I will achieve this thing. Good things are coming. God is for me. During your waiting season, it is very important to wait. And I know it's like, okay, Schuyler, we already said that. No. Here's what I mean. A lot of times we can try to force things to happen. Like, you're waiting for a relationship. You're waiting for your person, and you don't want to force things to happen. If it's not your time for your person, it's not your time for a person. I've seen so many times people jump into relationships because they got tired of waiting. They're like, okay, I can't wait for my person anymore. I can't wait for a boyfriend anymore. I can't wait for a girlfriend anymore. I can't wait for a wife or a spouse anymore. So they take matters into their own hands, and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna date this person, I'm gonna marry this person. You'll regret it. You really will, because the thing is, though, is whatever God has for you in your life is so much better than anything you can create yourself. So I think you're gonna struggle. So if you jump into something, or if you're like, okay, I'm waiting for this job offer, I'm waiting for this promotion, I'm just gonna take a different job, and you're moving when God didn't say move, that's when you get off track. And the thing is, though, is yes, God can put you back on track, but I don't know about you, but I ultimately want what God has for me. Like, I'm like, God, I want your plan. Because his plan is best, and it works out so much better than we could ever imagine, right? So I think the key is, if he's telling you to wait, accept that and surrender to God and submit to him, and be obedient to be like, okay, Lord, if you want me to wait, I'm gonna wait. Even though it can be so hard, like, it can be such a difficult thing. It is a discipline to wait, but you don't want to rush into anything or go off of what God doesn't have for you, because that is when you're gonna end up in a relationship where you're like, why the heck did I marry this person? I don't even know this person. I am now trapped in this marriage. Why am I dating this person? This person is not right for me. And it's hard to wait, and it's hard to be alone, and it's hard to be patient, and I get that. Trust me, I've had my fair share of waiting seasons that hurt, but I promise you, if you can stick through it, you will come out the other side stronger. Your faith will be stronger and better for it, and God really does reward that. He's like, thank you, like, my good and faithful servant. Like, you were faithful, you trusted me, you waited for me. And I think that's what it's all about. Never rush anything. Take it from me, I've rushed into a few things in my life, and I can't say I regret it, where I'm like, dang, I wish this didn't happen. But at the same point in time, I'm like, dang, I wish this didn't happen. Like, I don't regret it, but like, I wish I could erase it. You know what I'm saying? I've only been in one official relationship. Other than that, I'm not gonna cap, like, I've had quite a few situationships, but I feel like we all have. Like, but I'm very picky with who I date. I was like, whoever I date is gonna be my husband. I've only had one relationship. I'm single right now. that wasn't my husband. I found that out very quickly. I found that out within 2 weeks. So God was good. Like, God was good. I was like, okay, shoot, like, I trust you. And I bring that up to say, I didn't wait. And I thought it was the right thing, but because I didn't wait and talk to God about it, and I didn't wait to acknowledge God and be like, all right, God, like, is this really it? I just took matters into my own hands. It ended up being a not good situation, and God had mercy on me and showed me that that wasn't my person very, very early on. We were only official for like 2 weeks, and God showed me that. And so then I was like, oh, good, like, I'm happy I know, so I can move forward. But think about if God was like, all right, dang, you did this, so you're in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think about that. I'm like, dang, like, I'd still be in this relationship and it would not be a good situation, right? My point is going forward, I would definitely wait. I'm like, the next person I date, like, I'm gonna make sure it's the last. So, like, the whole talking period is gonna be long. Like, I'm not jumping to any relationships, and I don't think you should be jumping into anything in life until God says move. Like, if he says move, move. But if he didn't say move, do not take matters in your own hands, because that is when problems do occur. So change your perspective in your waiting season. Be like, okay, I gotta wait and this sucks, but how do I better myself in this waiting season? Let's say you're not ready, and maybe that's why you're waiting, but you're like, all right, how can I make myself ready? How can I get ready? And honestly, that doesn't just mean hit the gym, get a new hairstyle, beef up your Instagram. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, you can do that stuff anytime, and that stuff is great too. You want to have confidence and stuff like that, so work to build up your confidence. Like, those things are super important because it has to do with how you carry yourself and how you feel about you externally. So yes, get your self-care grind on, get your grind season on. Like, do it because God gave you the season. But you want to also make sure you're putting more of a focus on preparing yourself mentally and spiritually, and focusing on, is my mind right? Is my heart right? Are my intentions right? Like, how can I grow in my relationship with Christ? Because if you just keep chasing after Christ and putting Christ first, everything else will fall straight into place. And I'm not even lying to you. Like, it really will. 100%. Anything that you want in life, anything that you want for yourself in life, if you put God first, your desires will start to align with his desires, so he can give you everything that you want, everything that you need, because you two are aligning in your mindset. You're becoming more like Christ. The more you study the word, the more you study God, the more you become like him. I think the hard part of the waiting season is fighting the thoughts of, well, is it ever going to happen for me? Is this thing ever going to come? Am I ever going to make it? Am I ever going to get this thing I've been hoping for? You will definitely have moments like that, and you'll have moments where you feel doubtful and you feel like it isn't coming, and you'll get frustrated, or you'll be like me, crying in my bed and recording it like, oh my gosh. But those feelings are only natural because the enemy is going to attack you. He's going to be like, all right, I'm going to take the truth and twist it. So the truth is you're waiting. You don't have the thing that you're waiting for yet. But the enemy will start making you feel like, yeah, he'll start saying, yeah, you don't have this thing because you're never going to get it. Like, God doesn't care about you. He's never going to give this thing to you. Does he really want you to succeed? He's letting everybody else succeed. He's giving everybody else this. Everybody else is moving forward in life but you. And that's the thing. He'll give you a little bit of the truth, which is only truth in that is that you're waiting, that God is having you wait. Then he'll add on a bunch of lies to make you believe it. It's not true. It is not true. So you're going to have to fight those thoughts while you are waiting. Because if the enemy can get in your head and the enemy can tell you, oh, this thing is never going to work out. Oh, you're never going to make it. Oh, you're actually not going to get what God promised to you. Did God really say he's going to give that to you? If he can get you to question God, and if he can get you to question yourself, what are you doing? You're slowing down. And that's the whole point. During the waiting season, God wants you to continue moving. So if the enemy can get you to stop in your tracks, you're actually never going to get the thing that God has for you because you didn't move forward to get it. You didn't continue to walk forward towards that open door. So that's the point. It's funny because God's saying, I'm not giving it to you yet because I want you to continue moving forward. The enemy is saying, yeah, God's not giving it to you, which makes you doubt, and that keeps you from moving forward. So then you actually don't get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you will get it, but it's just delayed, right? Even longer. So if you want to speed up that process, make sure you're doing your part, which is keeping moving forward and keep going after what you're supposed to be going after. Keep putting God first. Get into your word daily. Listen to your messages. Advance your mind. Advance your mindset. Change your heart. And then change anything else that you want to change that you can change, right? I think the point is God is trying to develop something in your life in this season. I had to identify through my season of waiting that God was trying to teach me to be faithful. This thing, I'm going to tell you to keep working at it, and it's not going to do well. I want you to keep working at it because I want you to keep being faithful. Like, I don't want everything you do to be based on results. And I'm like, dang, okay, like that's true. In each of our waiting seasons, they're not pointless. He's having you wait for a reason. So really take the time to identify, what is God teaching me during this waiting season? Is he teaching me to be faithful? Is he teaching me to trust him? What is he teaching you? And identify that thing and write it down. Do what you have to do. Write it on a sticky note, stick it on your mirror, put it on your Bible, put it on your notebook, put it on your computer, so that every single time you doubt, or every single time you feel like, okay, wait, maybe I'm not gonna ever get this thing, you remember the thing that you're working towards, the thing that God is trying to teach you in this season, so that you can constantly be aware of it and constantly keep working towards it, which will expedite the process. So I'm like, okay, if God is telling me in this season I gotta be faithful, all right, I'm gonna keep being faithful. Let me try to get over this thing. Let me try to conquer this hurdle. Let me try to do the thing that I gotta work at, because if you're not working at it, you're not working towards it. So he's equipping you and giving you the thing that you'll need for the next season, but he can't get you to the next season if you haven't learned what you gotta learn from this season. The enemy has no control over stopping what God has for you. The enemy cannot stop the plans that God has for you. He can't. Like, literally, he just can't. Like, he does not have the power to do that. But he can try to get you to slow down, and he can manipulate you, and he can tempt you to get you to sabotage yourself and sabotage your own growth. So don't let him do that. Do not let him sabotage you. Do not let him manipulate your mind and thinking, I can't do this. God is never going to give this thing to me. I'm never going to move forward. I'm never going to conquer this obstacle. I'm never going to beat this giant. And if the enemy can get you to do that and think that you're sabotaging yourself, which is ultimately keeping you from where God wants you to be. He does not want you in a state of doubting yourselves. He's like, no, trust me. He's like, I want you to trust me, and I want you to lean on my understanding and not your own. And I think if the enemy can get you to constantly be like, but I don't understand, God, I'm not going to move until I understand. God is looking like, look, if you just take my hand and let me lead you, we can go to so many high places. So simplify your task to just keep moving forward. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't think about quitting. If you are so ambitious and now you're like, okay, I'm not going to try this thing anymore because it's not going to happen. No, keep going, because that's the enemy. He wants to stop you from moving forward. Simplify your tasks and think, I'm going to work on two things. I'm going to work on the thing that God wants me to learn in this season, which for me was being faithful. And number two, I'm going to have the goal of just to keep moving forward. Whatever I do, I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm not going to quit. So just little by little, be patient with yourself too. It's a process. Little by little, make those changes. But really take this time. If I can say anything in this whole episode, take this time to really grow with Christ. Like, grow in your relationship with him, because that is where you'll be able to handle more waiting seasons. Because I hate to tell you, like, I hate to break it to you, but if you're in a waiting season now, this isn't like a one and done type of situation. This isn't like your one waiting season and then you're done and you're never gonna have one again. Like, nope, it's not gonna stop. Like, you're gonna have another one. Like I told you, I've probably had like 3 really long waiting seasons, and I just entered my 3rd one. So I'm in one right now. So like, I'm not just like preaching at you. I'm reminding myself, like, as I was like thinking about this episode, I was like, what do I want our first episode to be? And I'm like, okay, definitely let's talk about waiting season, because I can guarantee you, if I'm going through this right now, there's so many other people going through it too, and like, it's there's strength in knowing, you're not the only one. Like, you're not the only one going through a waiting season. You're not the only one who's struggling. So we're all on the struggle bus together. It's hard. Like, I had a really hard week last week just because I was getting frustrated. I have days where I'm like, Lord, I trust you, we're gonna do this, and then I have days where I'm like, oh, I'm quitting, I'm done. Then I'm like, Lord, I trust you, let's do this. And so also know it's okay if you have those up and downs, but if you go down, don't let yourself stay there. So if you go down, put yourself right back up. Even if the next day you go down again, you're going to be exhausted from that. Yes, and that's tiring. But the key to this life is to keep going up as soon as you go down. Don't even stay down long. I mean, this isn't going to be your last waiting season. So learn what you need to learn now so that the next waiting season can be easier and you can just keep moving forward. Let me tell you guys something. What God has for you is coming. It is on its way. It is coming. It is promised to you, and nothing can stop that. The only one who can stop that that is you. The more you don't take advantage of where God has for you, the more you delay that process. So if I can tell you guys anything, let's all use this waiting season to learn and to grow and get ready, because you're gonna have to wait in either way. Like, we're all gonna be waiting regardless. Like, you can't avoid it. It's inevitable. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like Thanos, where it's like, I am inevitable. You're right. Like, your waiting season is inevitable, so you might as well get something from it. Okay, so we're all in this together. You're not alone. You can do it. I'm also talking to myself. I can do it. Dear God, help me. Like, oh my gosh. But you guys, we are going to be diving into this probably a little bit more throughout this entire season. Like, I feel like we're always going to be waiting for something next in life. So thank you guys so much for joining into our first official podcast episode. It was so fun. I'm so excited. And like I said, if you guys ever have any questions, DM me, and I'm going to do a Q&A section of like 2 or 3 short little questions on each episode. So DM me with your questions. Sign up on my story, send it, whatever, and do it on the Kill Culture podcast page, and I will be more than happy to answer any of those questions. And that anonymous platform will be up soon, so we are super excited about that. Thank you guys for joining the Kill Culture podcast. Hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and yeah, share this with your friends. If you know anyone going through a struggling waiting season, send it to them, or save this message again and listen to it again if you're really struggling. If you're having a night like I was a few weeks ago where you are really struggling with your waiting season, just put this on and just know that you are not alone. The enemy's gonna always try to make you feel like you're alone in this season. You're not alone, because I'm in this right now with you. Like, like if it's not anybody else, it's me. So I got you. Make sure you guys follow us on the social media and join the community, get plugged in so you can stay up to date on everything that's going on here at the Kill Culture podcast. And yeah, you guys, I hope you guys have a great day or night whenever you guys are tuning into this. Stay tuned for our next episode next week. You guys, bye, ciao, adios. Yeah, I will talk to you guys next time on the Kill Culture podcast. Bye.